Seed Ancestry reading. Satnam Solmuk, and welcome to your Starseed Ancestry reading. I'm excited to go over all of the starseed markings that we found in your chart. The way that this is going to work is I'm going to go through the markings that I found, and sometimes they include just one planet, but sometimes they include a group of planets. And so I'll talk about what that means. I'll talk about how you embody this energy in your chart, and by the end, and the qualities of the starseed markings. And then by the very end of the reading, you should have a beautiful cosmic perspective of your soul. Some of the markings you're going to feel super deeply connected to. Some of them are going to be new. Some of them are going to feel like you kind of knew the information already. So just tune in and let yourself receive all of this magic, because it really is magical. At the same time that we are doing this reading, I'm going to be marking your chart on the screen so you can have a visual of what it looks like and what I'm talking about. Hopefully you're familiar with your chart, but if not, this makes it easy for you to follow along, and I recommend you also take notes. So let's begin. We're going to start with a marking over here, which is on your moon. You have your moon in the sign of Taurus. It's also in the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. And the moon is about our emotions. The moon is about the subconscious desires. The moon is also the things that underlie everything that we don't often see, we're not able to see, but that play a major role in how we interact with people, and especially how we perceive the world through the emotional realm. The cool thing is that the energy of Taurus is actually a balanced energy. It's a grounded energy. It's secure. So you may find that you give the effect off to people that you have a grounding presence, and so that helps other people feel grounded. And that's kind of at a basic in a basic way what the moon represents. But also it's interesting because wherever the moon is in your chart is where everything fluctuates and changes the most, because the moon transits through all of the signs very quickly from one to the other every 2.5 days. So you see this energy fluctuating and shifting all the time. It never really has the stability that for example, an outer planet would have that sits in one sign for like 20 years or something like that. So this is where, wherever the moon is in your chart, is where you will feel the most shifting and changing in your life. And it happens to be in your 7th house. And I'm saying that because this is kind of an interesting place to have the moon. And so you may notice that your relationships in general, they shift and they change all the time. You may have many different relationships, or within the relationship, you'll notice that things shift and change all the time. So the star seed marking that we're looking at here is called Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia is the mother of Andromeda. I'm not sure how familiar you are with mythological stories, but the story of Andromeda is that her mother, Cassiopeia, boasts about her daughter to everyone, and even says that she's prettier than the Nereids of Poseidon. Poseidon is the god of the sea, that she's prettier, more beautiful. And so Poseidon, the sea god, gets pissed off, traps Andromeda, chains her to a rock next to the sea, and she literally is like awaiting her death by the sea monster. Perseus, who has just defeated Medusa and who's carrying her head, her decapitated head, with him in his bag, who is the head, because the eyes are open of Medusa's head. When you look into Medusa's eyes, she petrifies you. So he's carrying this head around and using it as like a weapon. And he petrifies the sea monster, frees Andromeda, and then marries her. That's the story of Andromeda. But within that story is the energy of the mother. And the mother's name is Cassiopeia. And the energy of the mother, though, is much more, it's a nurturing and it's a loving energy. So the story of Andromeda You don't have Andromeda starseed markings in your chart, but you do have Cassiopeian. So you embody more of this side of the story, which is the loving mother, the nurturing mother, the one who um, loves her daughter so much that, just can't stop talking about how beautiful she is and how perfect she is and all this stuff. Well, she boasts a little bit too much, but still, that's the energy of the Cassiopeian star seeds. And um, they they naturally understand the principle of manifestation. They understand that the universe is infinitely expansive and creative by nature, and as an expression of source and the universe, we're all infinite creative souls. Cassiopeians are also the builders of the new earth. They're heaven on earth architects and are here to implement the strategy and physically build the structures needed to manifest these high ideals into reality. They are very grounded and they can help others feel grounded as well. And they're here to help teach humanity how to love and guide us back to our heart. And that's the beauty of this Cassiopeian energy that you embody in the moon sign, which is also the sign of the emotions and the moon goddess, and it's the sacred divine feminine energy. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female, these energies live within us. So in some ways we're more masculine, in some ways we're more feminine. This is a beautiful space where you embody this beautiful, loving, nurturing, sacred, feminine energy that is here to help humanity. It's for helping humanity to find their way to the heart. So I think that's really beautiful as your first starseed marking. Okay, we're going to move on to this next one. And this one is, we're going to look at Saturn. Saturn is known as is the father, the lord of time and karma is his real name. He has this energy of the father, the authority, the one that teaches us the really difficult lessons. And wherever he is in your chart is where you are learning these big lessons. And it's in Taurus, again, the sign that we just looked at for your moon. And Taurus is the sign that represents the earth, but it also represents Venus, which is relationships, but it's our connection to Mother Earth, the mother, the great mother, the cow. The Taurus sign is a bull or a cow, and its connection is to Hathor, the cow goddess. So on Earth, you are learning these very powerful lessons. But the powerful thing, and they're very transformative for you specifically, because this is something that lives in your eighth house of death, change, and transformation. So what is that 28 degrees of Taurus? That is right where the Pleiades are. So you have Cassiopeian starseed marking. Now you have a Pleiadian starseed marking. And in fact, in between 26 degrees of Taurus and 0 degrees of Gemini is, I call it the darkness to light portal. Because it starts with Algol, which is the Medusa star, the demon star, and it ends with Alcyone, which is the main star of the Pleiades. So your Saturn is right in the middle of that portal that moves from darkness to light. So he's kind of like right in this space. And there was just recently a conjunction where Jupiter just passed over this point, so it magnified it. So I bet you that you've gone through some pretty big kind of shifts, moments, what we call them tower moments, that destroy things, they shake things up, and then we have to kind of rebuild. We have to start again. But those shifts and changes and falling of the tower is necessary step to the rebirth. That's what I mean by darkness to light. So, and the Pleiadian energy is like one of the most beautiful. I think it is one of the most famous. They're one of the more famous ones. Most people like hear Pleiades and they like, oh yeah, I know what that is. There's a book that I recommend reading about if you are interested in learning more. It's called Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak. That book is going to blow your mind if you have not looked at it again. There's another one also by Barbara Handclough called The Pleiadian Agenda. And both of those are channeled books. And that's what the energy of the Pleiades is really about. It's listening to the higher vibrational codes, light codes of the universe, because that's what the Pleiades represent. They're like really high frequency light beings. They are a star nation known as the Seven Sisters. In Greek mythology, the Pleiades were the seven daughters of Atlas, a titan who held up the sky, and the Oceanid Pleione, the protectors of sailing. The seven sisters were Maya, Electra, Alcyone, Tyget, Asterope, Sela, Eno, and Merope. The Pleiadians are sometimes referred to as the Muses and said to be the nymphs or the fairies in the train of Artemis. The qualities of Pleiadian starseeds are they're very intuitive, they're very sensitive, they're very imaginative, they're very radiant, they very communicative, they're empathic, it is a soothing energy, a soothing frequency, they're very nurturing, they're mystical, they understand creativity, they are healers, they are counselors, they're in tune with the natural worlds. They're here to activate and support humanity through their creative expression. And they're called upon to seed new worlds with the essence of evolved human form and to commune with the planet's consciousness and its existing life in order to introduce new beings and new ideas in a loving and nurturing way. They also embody the divine feminine and often will show themselves in female form to radiate this refined frequency as like a star guide or spirit guide. They often feel like there's a feminine energy to them. Pleiadians were the cosmic race that helped seed ancient Lemuria, and the Hopi Native Americans have often referenced them throughout their legends. Pleiadians are very peaceful, loving. They thrive in places of peace, harmony, and tranquility, and they feel best when they are sharing their refined essence and communicating in a loving and high vibrational way. Pleiadians are basically like these light beings that are here to guide us to move towards the light. So that's why the main star of the Pleiades is on Alcyone, which is at 0 degrees of Gemini, which you are kind of in between that space from the darkness to the light, but right in the middle where you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel and like the hope, the energy of hope. And that's what you bring with this frequency, with Saturn. You bring this energy of the authority, right? The father figure, the one who guides with wisdom, and the wisdom channels through this energy, this high vibrational frequency energy of the Pleiades. So it's actually really beautiful and a really powerful place to have your Saturn. So also another really powerful starseed marking. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one, and the next one is Venus. So your Venus is over here in the sign of Leo. Venus represents what we truly desire, what we want in relationship, but in life in general. Leo is the sign that's ruled by the sun. So you were actually born close to a Sun-Venus conjunction, which is a really beautiful energy to have in the chart. I've often had it referenced as if you have Sun conjunct Venus in your chart, angels surround you. And I have Sun Venus in my chart. It's in Gemini in my chart, but yours is in Leo. But Leo is the energy, the power of the sun, and the sun is the biggest star in our solar system. It's like what gives us life, the light of the sun. And you have this desire. The desire with Leo is, it's really to love. It's really to experience that pure essence of like expansive love. A lot of ancient cultures worshipped the sun, and that was God to them. The sun was God. And in a little bit, in a way, a little bit within astrology, the sun is the god of the astrology of the chart, because without the sun, like we all revolve around it. So somehow the ancient cultures knew the power of this energy, and you have this really beautiful connection here in your chart. What makes it even more powerful is that this is This starseed marking is literally only 1 degree away from the main star in the Ursa Major constellation, and also Ursa Major. So this makes you an Ursa Major starseed, and there is a planet called Liakish that is a planet of pure light. So there's a lot of like elevating light frequency in your chart so far, which I think is beautiful. So Liakish is a planet found within this constellation of pure light where souls go in between lifetimes to rest, or when they're coming to Earth, they will stop in Liakish to get ready, to just bask in that light frequency. And so there's no duality on this planet. There's no darkness on this planet. It's almost like, I would say, more than anything, instead of like pure light, I would say it's like neutral. Because when there's wherever there's light, there's also kind of darkness, or the possibility of it. And that's very much like an earthly thing, an earthly perspective that we have here on this planet. So I would say it's more of like this neutral space where you can exist beyond duality. And so because of that, having an experience here on this planet, incarnating on this planet, and this happens to a lot of starseed beings that come from these other places that don't have duality as dense as the earth does, then you feel you become really highly sensitive to everything here. Everything is like too much light, too much sound, too much this, too much that. So it's difficult to like settle in, and a lot of even the kids that are born nowadays have a lot of sensitivities. They have food sensitivities, they have light sensitivity, they have all kinds of sensitivities, sound sensitivities, and it's a bit of you as well. You experience this, and a lot of light workers and starseeds do, because this planet is really dense. And so having such a powerful connection to Ursa Major and the Liakish starseeds, and that planet specifically, makes it so that this is a really strong energy for you to pay attention to, that you are really sensitive and you need to be careful, like what you expose yourself to and how long you expose yourself to things, because you are super sensitive. So that's in a deeper way to read that, because it's Venus on this starseed marking, is what you truly desire is like to be in that like sacred neutral space of peace, and like no highs and low lows. It's just a calm energy. And so when you can place yourself, and when relationships bring that into your life, that's what you truly desire. All right. Let's move on to the next, which is actually your rising sign. So over here you have 19 degrees of Libra, and this is in Arcturus or Arcturian starseed marking. And these are actually really, really powerful too. The Arcturians played a huge role in ancient Atlantis, and they have a lot to do with technology, advanced technology, especially things like sacred, like they brought the alchemy side, the understanding of the alchemy and the sacred geometry to the ancient civilizations. And so their influence is to evolve humanity via the mode of technology. Sometimes, so your angle in your astrology chart, your rising sign, this is an angle, called an angle. They don't have planets on them. You don't have a planet on here, but the angles, when certain fixed stars or energies land on the angles, they also hold specific frequency and strength. And the rising sign is your identity. The rising sign is who you are and how people see you. So it'll be interesting to see how this information resonates for you. But the Arcturians, in general, the Arcturus is a star located in the Bootes constellation. It's considered to be a very old star system, and Arcturians are also considered to be quite ancient souls. They are known as master healers, and they have the ability to channel energetic healing modalities and ascension technology to activate and awaken quantum level soul upgrades. They're incredibly artistic and creative. They have a natural gift of expression, especially through the arts. They feel like the black sheep in the family. They're drawn to the night sky, astronomy, star nations. They don't understand or adhere to social hierarchies. They tend to have lower blood pressure and lower body temperature. They're drawn to the paranormal and metaphysics. They're also drawn, and here's where the sacred geometry comes in. Sacred geometry, ley lines, ancient civilizations, and have a natural gift for protecting the earth grid and accessing healing energy from portals and vortexes, both from the earth and the quantum realms. They're drawn to fundamental sciences like quantum physics and metaphysics. They're good at planning, organizing, and building. They're interested in advanced technology, science, mathematics. They may be interested in building, designing, and planning new Earth templates. And this may be through sustainable energy, developing new community living models, things like that. They're also extremely empathic, so they could feel other people. They're sensitive also to sounds, light, smells, chemicals, and they like to ask deep philosophical questions and have a deep explorative mind. They're also focused on ushering in the new earth in relation to technology, holistic healing modalities, and community living that is focused on balance and sustainability. They have agreed to assist Earth by acting as spirit guides to support, heal, awaken, and connect with many individuals within the collective. They are excellent collaborators and want to see everyone supported, thrive, and succeed. So they make natural leaders, really good at being peaceful and diplomatic. By nature, they're excellent teachers, guides. They form a bridge to all the other star nations. I mean, they played a huge role here in humanity. And so having that influence in your chart, you might be inspired by these things. You might feel a resonance to these things. You may have had past lives as an Arcturian being. Your DNA is remembering all of these things at this time. That's why they're found in your chart in this lifetime. So sometimes you may feel like, oh, I really had a past life in this other star system, or maybe I was once here on Earth as an Arcturian helping with, the ancient civilizations, or your DNA remembers it, or all of the above. And so this is coming up for you in your natal chart here in this lifetime. Arcturians are also, they're very, they're psychic in a way. And what I mean by that is they can be clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. They're extremely gifted intuitives and channels, and they like to transmit information in colors, geometric, and they might receive information in colors, geometric patterns, sounds, frequencies, shapes. All these things hold information or light codes that are related to the structure of our universe and the laws that govern it. They also have highly activated throat and third eye chakras. And it's a very natural thing for these chakras to be strong in them. It's almost like you don't even notice. And so because of that, the Arcturian energy can help you be a channel for helping other people with illuminating the truth of the universe within people. So another really, really powerful, I would say that might be the most powerful one that we've encountered so far. And next we have down here your Sag markings. You have Pluto in Sagittarius. Well, it looks like the connection was lost, so I'll keep talking. But we have Pluto in Sagittarius, and you have Chiron in Sagittarius, and they're very close together. They're basically conjunct in the chart. So Chiron is the wounded healer. Pluto is your power and the ultimate planet of liberation. So having these two together means that the healing journey that you're on is your ultimate liberation and where you get your power from. So Chiron in Sagittarius there's always an insecurity with Chiron. Whatever sign he's in, it's like, what's the insecurity of that energy? For Sag, I feel like it's feeling trapped because Sagittarius is about expansion, it's about growth, it's about going on new adventures, it's about going beyond your edge, it's go, 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 expand, expand, expand. And so being stuck somewhere is probably the fear of this energy, or not being able to grow, or not being able to learn, or not being able to expand. And also that shadow of Sag is, it's like overindulgent. It's like ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the biggest planet in astrology, and that too much is not good. Also, yeah, too little is not good. Too much is not too good. Like right in the middle is finding the balance. But I think with this, there's a fear of a lack of growth, and there's probably a fear of like also going out there to find your dreams. And also because Chiron was also a centaur, and this constellation is a centaur. The constellation of Sagittarius is half man, half horse, with the arrow in his arms, and he's getting ready to shoot it into the sky. And that was Chiron. Chiron was, that's called a centaur. And a centaur is, well, the story of Chiron specifically. He was a great teacher, and he taught the kids of the gods, like the demigods, like Hercules and stuff. And there's the famous story is that he was with Hercules, and they were practicing with the arrows, but they were dipping them in the blood of the Hydra snake, and Hercules hits Chiron's ankle with one of his feet. And so because Chiron was immortal, he's basically doomed to immortal suffering, like infinite suffering, because he was never going to die, but he was always going to have the pain. So he sacrifices his immortality and gives life. He switches with Prometheus, who was it's a whole nother story. I won't get into that one, it's kind of morbid. But he switches with Prometheus. He frees Prometheus, who's also trapped in another cycle like that. And he ends up dying, and then Jupiter or Zeus puts him in the sky as a constellation. That's why a lot of the stories of the Greek mostly, Zeus always puts everybody in the sky. And so that's how he ends up in the sky. But the story of that, you really embody it, because Sagittarius is a centaur. So it's like you are the wounded healer. But the truth about the wounded healer is, like, the gift is in the wound. If the wound wasn't there, you would never become a healer. Like every healer is a wounded healer. True healers, right? They're wounded healers because they've gone through the darkness. They've gone through that portal. They've gone through experiences in their life that they've gone all the way down and then come back up. And because of that, like that experience helps you understand how that process works from darkness to light. And so that's where, like, the true healers of the world are the ones that have actually healed, which means they got to go into the dark to get to the healing part. And they're the ones that actually, they don't really do anything. They just, it's funny because some healers I feel are definitely very active in their quote unquote healing life or mission. They actually do work with people, but some healers don't do anything. They just exist, and their presence heals others. And so you have to find, like, where do you fit? Where do you feel like, how do you feel like you really embody this energy within yourself? But anyways, I haven't even gotten to the starseed markings. So 9 degrees of Sag is Antares. And that star is the heart of the Scorpion in the Scorpio constellation in the sky. And between 8 and 26 of Sag is Ophiuchus, which is known as the 13th sign. So Antares is one of the royal fixed stars. It's the heart of the Scorpion. It's a red fire star. I actually want to read to you about it because it's all the royal fixed stars are really powerful energies, and they each embody like a different a different theme. So Antares is the heart of the scorpion, connected to the autumn equinox, known as the Watcher of the West. Antares is located at 9 degrees of Sag. It's the red star at the heart of the Scorpio constellation and at the foot of the serpent bearer, who is Ophiuchus. It is the guardian of the western sky, and its angelic signature is Archangel Uriel. In Persia, Antares was baptized as Magan the Great, the Lord of the Seed, the god of lightning, the bird of the sky. In China, Antares was the fire star. Hindus knew it as the oldest wise man, and its symbol was the ritual staff or the wand. Archangel Uriel, who is the angelic signature of this star, is his name in Hebrew means the Son of God. S-U-N, the sun, as in the planet or the star, the Son of God. And it's associated with a silvery white radiance. It's the most mysterious of the four archangels. He holds the profound job of illuminating the nature of duality. Earth is a dualistic planet of cycles and polarities, light, dark, yin, yang, feminine, masculine. And Archangel Uriel is what helps us move through this dualistic plane. He's also, you can call on Archangel Uriel. He is definitely one of your spirit guides. When you need to see, when you're seeking the knowledge to make the right decisions, to solve problems and to resolve conflicts. He kind of rules this mental plane, but it's also the heart, because in the heart of the scorpion, that's like very Plutonian too. And knowing that you have Pluto right here on Antares is kind of crazy. Because the story of the scorpion is that it's the ego that has to close its eyes and go into the dark and becomes the scorpion. And within that scorpion existence, he sees into the darkness, but he sees that in the darkness is truly where the true light, the light that he thought was that existed outside of him didn't. It actually existed within. And that's the story of the ego that becomes a scorpion, that then becomes a snake, and then climbs up the tree of life back up to the heavens. So this is, you can, I'm sure you're getting a lot, kind of throwing a lot out there, but you embody this frequency. These are themes that you will see unfolding in your life in certain ways, and especially when it comes to healing your fear of going beyond the edge, your fear of growing and expanding and not staying stuck where you are. You're going to see these themes show up. This is how your healing process will happen. If it hasn't already happened or started already in many different ways, there might be like small experiences, there might be bigger experiences that happen, but these are definitely major themes in your life. So you can work with Archangel Uriel, spelled like that, and like Ariel, but with a U. And look him up and find out all the important information that you need that will help you to work with him as a spirit guide. So the other thing that is right here within these degrees is Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus is the 13th sign, the hidden sign. It's hidden because there's secrets in there. It's not available to just anyone. You can access the information. This is like the mysteries, the occult. You can access the information if you have a marking like you do in your chart, or if you know how to work with the transits. Because when the planets pass through these points, that's another access point into that energy. But the themes of Ophiuchus are the mystic, the shaman, the healer, Kundalini energy, unlocking dormant DNA, serpent energy, transformation, transmutation, transcendence, sacred sexuality, hermeticism, high priestess, oracle, visionary, DNA activation, wound healing, the mother womb, the supernatural powers, magical abilities, the protector of wisdom, eternal truth, healing and regeneration, the adventurer, the sorcerer, sorceress, enchanter, enchantress, the occult, esoteric arts, ancient mystery and wisdom school traditions, dragons, herbal elixirs, healing. I mean, there's like a lot. It's a lot, but it's basically like the occult and the ancient mysteries. And the coolest thing about Ophiuchus, the element that Ophiuchus ruled is not earth, air, fire, or water. It's ether. It's the fifth element, which is also known as the spirit molecule. So it's like where the alchemy happens. It's really, really powerful. So I would definitely, um, if you've been drawn, you probably have been already drawn to alchemy and the occult, but I would definitely keep searching all that because there's a lot there that can help you in your healing journey, specifically because Chiron is right here. Okay, there's two more, and these are the last ones that we cover because they are with the nodes, and I always save the nodes for last because the nodes in astrology talk about past lives, karma, and your destiny and your life path, and what is your mission? What did you come here to experience? What did you come here to conquer? What did you come here to actually give? Because the south node is what the gifts that you already have. It's a very comfortable space for you, but the north node is where it's uncomfortable, but you're supposed to go on that hero's journey and have the courage to go towards the things that make you uncomfortable, because that's where the true evolution, that's where you become the hero. The hero doesn't start as the hero, right? The hero starts as like the young, innocent adolescent or child even that goes on an adventure and expects it to be amazing and then realizes the truth of the adventure and that he has to actually overcome his fears and his ego and all this stuff. And then eventually to get to the other side, it's like you have to die and be reborn. And that's how we get to our north node. So it's never going to be comfortable. That's why it's important to know where they are situated in our chart. So you have south node, Capricorn, and it's conjunct Vesta. So south node, Vesta. Vesta is the astro. She's known as the keeper of the sacred flame. It's an energy that it's like everlasting. And south node, like I said, is karma. Well, these two markings are on Lyran starseed markings, and that's very significant. We're going to come back to that in a second. But let's hop on over to the opposite end of this, which is North Node in Cancer at 24 degrees. It's Mars in Cancer at 25 degrees. It's your midheaven in Cancer at 22 degrees, and it's your Mercury in Cancer at 13 degrees. So that's what we call a Cancer stellium. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the moon and Saturn. Remember we started with those? Crazy connections. So what are you comfortable with? What is this energy that you bring with you? What are your natural gifts that you're here to share with the world? Is your Lyran ancestry, literally, because the Lyrans are the oldest souls in the galaxy. And let's discover about the Lyrans here. The origin of Lyra is 32,900 light years away. There are several races in Lyra that are predominantly feline in nature. Think Bast, Bastet, Anubis, Sekhmet. Lyrans are ancient souls. They are one of the founding galactic races of our solar system and have been around for eons. They hold a deep esoteric wisdom, and they taught to ancient Lemuria, the people of ancient Lemuria and Atlantis. Lyran starseeds are the oldest souls in our galaxy. They're drawn to the paranormal and metaphysics. They need to experience the physical world to the fullest. They like to push their physical limits. When well integrated, they will pursue their dreams fearlessly. They are physically strong and don't mind hard physical labor. And once they get started, they don't like to stop until the job is done. They enjoy people watching and analyzing social interactions. They're extremely intelligent and tend to know a lot about a wide range of topics. They have a live and let live attitude so long as you're doing no harm. Lyran starseeds may have a freedom fighter type mentality, and they are quick to identify injustices and willing to fight for causes that they believe in. They are natural leaders because they're very experienced and comfortable living in the third dimension. And the most important thing is that personal sovereignty is a significant life theme for Lyrans. Their fierce independence at a young age may sometimes be unpleasant for those close to them, potentially their parents. Or it could be the other way, where your parents really admired that old soul energy within you when you were a child. So that is the gift that you came. That's you. It is possible. See, when I look at South Node energy and I see a star point within it, I do feel like sometimes this is the last place that you came from, the Lyran system. That could be the last lifetime that you had, or it could mean that energy really wants to be magnified or highlighted in your life this time around, and that's why it's showing up here. So it's like leadership. You're a natural leader, but you're here to use those leadership qualities, to use those skills, to use that experience and channel it through your North Node, which is on Sirius. Sirius is a powerful star. It is the star that the ancient Atlanteans used to mark their year. When the Sirius star rose with the sun, the new Atlantean year began. And Sirius star is also connected to goddess Isis, ancient Egypt, like I mentioned, ancient Atlantis. They were in that same area. And it's the high priestess as well, the moon goddess, ruled by the moon. So there's a nurturing aspect to this. You have to use the ability to nurture, because the 10th house is the house of career and life path and mission and purpose. So part of your mission is to nurture. The Cancer energy is loving, it's emotional, but it nurtures. And that's a big part of how you're here to show up for the world. So what is Sirius? Sirius is a binary star system found in the Canis Major constellation. It's the brightest star in our sky. Beings from Sirius are younger than beings from Arcturus and Lyra, but older than beings from the Pleiades and Earth. Sirius is also one of the 4 races of beings that took a primary role in the seeding of life on Earth. Sirius is a system that shows a high degree of variability. Beings from Sirius A are feline and fox-like. Sirius B have a connection to mermaids, mermen, and the waters, along with dolphins and whales. And Sirius C are avian in nature, and sometimes come through as the blue-skinned beings, or blue avians. Sirians tend to have a vivid imagination and an innate gift for all things magical and mystical. Many Sirius starseeds are great wizards, shamans, healers, and other types of mystics. Sirius starseeds also can love fantasy novels, games, and movies because these worlds may hold a resemblance to their home star system. They often enjoy the mystical arts and may resonate with wizards, witches, shamans, priests, priestesses. They also thrive when they believe and remember in their own magic. Working with the moon cycles is really important and supportive for you as a Sirius starseed. And you have a natural gift for mystical healing modalities, including magic, intuitive channeling, energy work, and can be You don't have to be, but you can be, because it's a natural thing. A gifted tarot reader, astrologer, psychic, mystic. Serious starseeds also can be very shy, but once they open up and they find the right people to connect to, then they feel really comfortable, and they can be like the most loving, beautiful, and nurturing beings. So intuition is really strong for you. You have to trust your intuition, and you have to trust your creativity, and you have to let yourself flow, because this energy of the moon is about flow, about not getting stuck. And that's why you have one of the hardest lessons is you're afraid of getting stuck, but you're also afraid of expanding and growing. And so that means you have to trust something that you may feel is very uncomfortable, which is flow, which means things go high, low, up, down, and you can't exactly predict that cycle. And that's why this is your destiny. But once you learn to flow, and once you learn to trust your intuition and trust your sacred divine feminine energy that lives within you, that can channel out into everything you do, and people will see that and they will be drawn to that, and then you'll feel like you're living your purpose. So that's what the North Node is. Mars is also about taking action, and Mercury is the mind. So there's a lot of emotional frequency that you're here to learn about within yourself. And as you learn about that, you actually step more and more into your purpose. Okay. Well, that was everything that I wanted to cover. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Please let me know what you think, and make sure you download it onto your computer so you can save it and watch it as many times as you want. I hope you got a really beautiful cosmic perspective of your soul, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend, wherever you are in your day. And hopefully I'll see you in our community. Satnam, and have a beautiful day.